There we are, live on Psych Up with Brian. Today, it's actually National Memory Day. Memory is very important for being smart. If you have a really good memory, you remember more things and you're able to apply more things and have more concepts in your mind. So, today I'm going to talk about you being smarter, and memory is one of the keys to being smarter. So, actually, let's look at what I want to talk about today is 12 ways to be smarter. Okay, this is really good. This is a really nice list. I always love a good list because you get a lot of really good information encapsulated. So, how is being smarter worth it? Is it worth it to be smarter? I'm telling you, your whole basis of success is how smart you are. So, who do you know who's smart? Okay, now there's two kinds of smart. There's all kinds of smart actually. In fact, you're smart in some areas and you're not so smart in other areas. So, what do we want to be smart at? We want to be smart at sort of the rules of success, about doing the things that lead to success. You want to be smart about life. You want to be smart in emotion. You want to have emotional intelligence. So, all those components of intelligence are important. Let me go over my 12 ways to be the smartest you can be, basically. All right. So, number one is high expectations. Let's have high expectations. I'm smart. Use positive affirmations. I'm a smart person. Expect yourself to be smart. Expect yourself to get things right. Expect yourself to know the answer. Okay. And if you don't know the answer, figure out how to know the answers. Do the research, do your studying, whatever. Have high expectations for your own intelligence. And then number two is positive mental attitude. If you have a negative attitude, your brain just doesn't work as well. If you have a positive mental attitude, if you're always believing in yourself, that is going to result in being smarter. Number three is brain support. Brain support. You got to support your brain. Your brain is like a 4 pound hunk of flesh that does all your thinking. It's kind of scary and amazing at the same time. So you want to take care of your brain. You want to feed it good, healthy fats, avocado, and that is good for your brain. Fish is good for your brain. That's brain food. I like to eat broccoli is really good for you, by the way, in a lot of ways. So there's all kinds of food, and not just eating right, but thinking right, keeping physically fit, following healthy habits. That supports the actual physical structure of your brain. Okay, and number four is memory improvement. So let's just try to memorize stuff once in a while. It's helpful to memorize things. I will memorize a phone number. I'll memorize things that I think will be come in handy down the road. And it takes about 30 seconds to memorize something, depending on how long it is. So I use memory a lot. Memory is important. It's good to have a good memory. So think about that. You learn faster when you have a good memory, but part of having a good memory is believing you have a good memory. So stop saying, oh, I have a bad memory, or I don't remember people's names very well. Forget all that. I'm great with names. I remember everybody's name. Hey, when I used to run events live, if I heard somebody's name one time, I would remember. Maybe some of you guys have been to our live events. I would know by the end of the first day, I'd probably know 30 out of 100 people's names. Let's say if there's 100 people there. So that was helpful for my work. I was helpful. I was better at my job because of that. Next, five is preparation. Whatever you're doing, what is smart? Smart is successful. Smart means successful to me. That means if you go out to do a task, you're successful at it. You don't goof it up. You don't forget stuff. You don't forget important things. You don't, goof it up because you made some dumb mistake. Non-thinking. It's not that anybody's dumb. It's just they're not thinking the right way. They're not, focusing their brain on the right thing. So again, having a positive attitude will help you with that for sure. Okay, so preparation, being ready for whatever you're doing is going to make you look a lot smarter when you're doing it. So preparation is huge. Number six is expanding vocabulary. I don't use a lot of big words anymore. I used to throw around a lot of big words, and I think I was trying to impress people a little bit, maybe. I have a million big words, but usually sometimes that creates a glitch in the communication, because if someone doesn't know that word, all of a sudden it's like, what was that again? Okay. And so all of a sudden they're not on the same perfect wavelength as you. However, there's a lot of words that when you learn them, you learn a concept. When you learn a word, it's not just some word that you're going to use, it's a whole concept. So when you learn a word, it's like pride of ownership. Okay, well, that's a concept, but that's more than one word, actually. I'm trying to think of one word that captures this, but resiliency. Okay, if you know that word, I am resilient. Resiliency is a certain kind of a word, has a certain kind of power to it that you're going to bounce back from anything. I am resilient. So that's a good word. And now if you don't know what the word resilient means, or if you don't understand it, that takes power away from you. So again, more words means more power, more understanding of life. Okay. Happy Friday, everybody. Just checking to see if my mute was on. All right. Now, next is tech expertise. Now, listen, we all have to have a certain, it's unfortunate or fortunate, I don't know what you want to say, but in today's world, there's a lot of tech. And so if you don't understand just the basics of tech, you're behind. Okay, so you got to understand your phone. And if you understand a lot of the apps on your phone, you're doing great, because most people don't. So the more tech you sort of understand and can apply, the smarter you are. I mean, it's just that simple. Those tech programs are smart. Somebody smart came up with them. They do things for you that are smart and that make you look smart. So yes, get smart with the tech stuff. And especially if it's related to your work, especially if I got now, and for you guys in the real estate investing, there's, lead pulling programs like RealFlow is what we use. And, I'm not that great at the tech. Frankly, it's not my department, but somebody's got to be good at your tech. And somebody's got to understand your RealFlow or your whatever programs you're using to find leads. And so tech understanding, and the better you are at your phone, the smarter you are. So let's just leave it at that. Tech expertise is very important for intelligence in these days, though. Number 8 is focus on your goals. If you're focused a million different places, if you're not focused on your goals, then you're not smart, because your attention is a million different areas. You're not getting anything done. So focusing on your goals and being effective, that's what I think is smart. Somebody who achieves their goals, that's smart. If somebody doesn't achieve their goals, they're not very smart. As many big words as they use, if they're not achieving their goals, that doesn't come across as smart to me. Okay, next is detailed plans. This is where we go back to our success GPS, goals, plan, schedule. I really count on those things, goals, plan, schedule. So goals is, focus on goals is number 8, detailed plans is number 9, and roll schedule is number 10. If you're following your roll schedule, you're smart. You're smarter. If you're following a schedule, you know what you're doing during the day. If you're not following a schedule, if you never have a schedule, and you remember, a role schedule is just your schedule, but then you're plugging in what role you think you should be playing at that time. Like focused entrepreneur, or whatever it is at that moment, whatever action task you're executing at that moment. Okay, so it's important to have your role schedule created, and that make you a lot more effective. Sometimes I almost correlate those two words, success and smart. Being successful and being smart, and effective. Yeah, effective equals smart. If you're effective at your life, I don't care if you don't have any vocabulary. If you've got a vocabulary of 20 words, if you're really effective in getting the results you want in your life, you're smart. Okay. Next is, I just got a couple more left. Number 11 is visualization. And visualization makes you smarter because you anticipate situations, and you foresee things, and you know what's going to happen before other people know. And so you kind of, you're prepared, and they're not. So prepared, visualizing in advance helps prepare you and helps build your confidence. If you visualize yourself executing some action step, and now here you are executing the action step, you feed off that visualization. It gives you confidence, and you know what you're doing. So visualization definitely makes you smarter. And lastly, number 12 is leadership ability. Do you have leadership ability? Have you learned the skills? Have you learned skills that people want to follow? And then you lead and they follow. Okay. Do you have leadership ability? Do you communicate well? Do you have emotional intelligence? That's a big part of leadership abilities, understanding people's emotions and understanding your own emotions. Okay. So, wow, that was a lot. Okay. But those things, if you think about all those things, those are all ways that you could be a smarter person, get better results in your life. Again, smart means effective to me. You can be, and somebody who's totally book smart and knows quantum physics, that's great. But if you're not, making a good living and taking care of your family, you ain't smart to me. Okay. So and don't just be so smart in one area and then other areas just fall down. You have to have sort of a baseline intelligence in everything and sort of be a little smart in everything so that your life functions. And then you can get hyper smart in one area, and that's where you make your living. Okay. And so that's how most people do it. And so, getting hyper smart in a good area like real estate investing is a big, big plus for sure. So that was a lot of content there, all about being smarter, because I want everybody to be as smart as humanly possible, because the smarter you are, the better results you get. So I am smart. That's our affirmation. 3 times on 3. You're built. What does that build? High expectations, right? High expectations was number 1. You expect yourself to be smart, act smart, think smart, do smart things. Okay, so I am smart. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I am smart. I am smart. I am smart. Yes, I'm smart. Yeah, you're a big girl. Okay, so guys, let's do 3 deep breaths. Nice deep breath in. Do you want to come up here? Do you want to come up here? Okay, another deep breath in. Good. This invigorates your body. Now, what part does this fall under? This falls under number 3, brain support. Okay, one more deep breath in. This is really supporting your brain. You can't tell me that when you do your deep breathing, it doesn't kind of invigorate and activate your brain and get you more, all of a sudden freshened up, kind of that fresh, deep breath. It really helps your brain. So don't forget that. That's good brain support, number 3. So 12 keys to being smarter. Think about those, apply those when you can. And, it will help you be smarter in your life. Okay. Happy Friday, Nolan, Kathy, guys are always here. What's some words? Yes, all the words, all the smart words. I got a lot of smart words. Okay. Synergy. That's a smart word. See, now there's a concept. There's a good one that's like a concept that's also one word. If you understand the concept synergy, that you understand a whole thing, and it's just the word. So that's why I always talk about words. The more words you've got a grasp on, the more concepts you're working with in life, and the more things you can see how they're interrelated and patterns and that. So the more things you understand, more words the smarter you are for sure. Happy Friday, Jennifer. Hi, Lacey. I need to eat more fish or fish vitamins. Yeah, think about what you're eating, guys, because eating badly will actually affect how you think, your brain power. Okay, love it. Lacey, you're always so good about commenting. Love the roll schedule, working on this. You know what? If you want that form, I feel like we have a sort of a connection interrupt, because I do sometimes say, guys, suggest, hey, send me an email, I'll send you some form. And then I don't get a lot of response to that. So if you want it's really a simple form. My roll schedule, it's every half hour. It's 1 page. It's every half hour has a thing. It says action step and roll. And I just didn't want to make it complicated. So it's that simple. It's every half hour, what the action step is and what the roll is. So that's my roll schedule. But if you want it, I'll send it to you if you send me an email. Okay, at support@thewolfcouple.com. I believe, I'm supposed to be getting emails out of there. But if you want to make sure, put Brian in caps in the subject line. Morning, Charles. You're always here. Visualize helps manifest your desirable outcome. Yes. So you visualize what you want to have happen. And then what do you think the chances are of that happening? Do they go up or down? They go way up. You're manifesting it in your mind before you manifest it in reality. So that's really, I'm a huge believer in visualization. Great tips today, Jennifer. Thank you. Hey, Rick. How you doing? Hey, you guys, if you don't normally comment, I would love it if you comment because I don't know you're here if you don't comment. So I haven't heard from Rick lately. So thanks for chiming in, Rick. Hello. Good info. Yes, there's always great info here. Every Monday and Friday, we're here at the same time. Okay. My favorite role is Master Learner Me. So we talk a lot about here about controlling our roles and the different roles we play. And one of your roles is smart blank. Okay, so you can be a smart mom, a smart dad, and that you're more clever about dealing with your kids' challenges. But you can be a smart whatever your job is. So I'm a smart account executive. I'm a smart salesperson. I'm a smart doctor. You think all doctors are smart, but some are smarter than others. So you want to be the smartest. Okay. And so use those 12 tips, 12 areas. And if you look down that list, you could be a lot smarter very, very quickly, making just small adjustments in several different areas. So I love giving you guys great information. Nick, smart is the way to go in life. Nick, I love your picture, Nick. Very professional. See, now, Nick, you haven't commented, so I love it, guys, when you comment and I can say hi and involve you in the proceedings. So great session today. A little bit longer than usual because I had a lot to cover, but that's good too. We did our deep breathing and everything. Now we're going to say goodbye. And guys, so until I talk to you next on Monday, keep expecting success. What do we always say? Expect success. And then get the best training from the Wolf Couple and always do what Lynette's motto is, and that's